Section 8.2, 8.3, 8.4, multiplying monomials and binomials. In order to multiply a monomial, or one term, with a polynomial, which is multiple terms, you just distribute like normal, and you add the exponents of the variables. So in the examples here, we want to multiply the monomials by the polynomials. So we're distributing, in this case, 6x squared throughout the quantity 2x cubed plus 7x. And so remember, you're going to multiply the coefficients but add the exponents of the variables. So in this case, 6 times 2 gives us 12. X times x to the third is x to the fourth. You multiply the coefficients, you add the exponents. So 6 times 7 is 42. X times x is x squared. And so this is our answer. 12x to the fourth plus 42x squared. The next one, same idea here, they just kind of wrote it backwards. So we're going to put the 5n in front, and we're going to distribute the 5n. 5 times 1 is 5, n times n is n squared. 5 times 6 is 30, we just tack the n on at the end. So this is our answer. So we're just distributing throughout the quantity. Example 3, same idea. We're going to distribute the negative 2x cubed throughout the quantity, 9x to the fourth minus 2x to the third plus 12. So negative 2 times 9 is negative 18. X cubed, x to the fourth become x to the seventh. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. X cubed and x cubed become x to the sixth. Negative 2 times 12, negative 24, x to the third. And that's your answer. So you're just distributing the monomial throughout the polynomial. So now we're going to talk about multiplying a binomial by a binomial. And in order to do this, you use something called the FOIL method, where FOIL stands for first, outside, outer, inner, and last, or first, outside, inside, last. And so this gives you the method for how you multiply each portion of each binomial by the other in order to get your final polynomial answer. So in this case, you want to multiply your first two terms, followed by multiplying your outer two terms, then your inner two terms, and then your last two terms of each binomial. In doing so, it'll create essentially a 4-term polynomial that you'll have to, in the middle, combine like terms in order to simplify down to, most of the time, it's going to end up being a trinomial, occasionally a binomial, from time to time. It just depends on the numbers and the binomials you're using. But this, once you get used to it, this becomes a very streamlined and fluid method to use, and it's easier to remember because of the acronym FOIL. So let's give it a shot. So, in the first problem, we want to multiply using FOIL. So we start with our first. So s times s gives us s squared. And then we're going to go outside, which is negative 2 times s, which is negative 2s. Then we go inside, which becomes 4s. And then we go last. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. So now that we use FOIL, and FOIL can also be called sometimes crab claw, because if you look at it, it kind of looks like a crab claw if you've made your lines correctly. And so now the last thing we have to do is combine like terms, because we've got negative 2s and 4s in the middle. And when we do so, we end up with s squared plus 2s minus 8 is our answer. We're going to do the same thing in example 2. We're going to FOIL. So we're going to take a times a, which is our first. So we've got a squared. We've got our outside. A times 4 gives us 4a. Negative 3 times a, which is inside, gives us negative 3a. And then last is negative 3 times 4, which is negative 12. All right, so in this case, we've got a squared plus 4a minus 3a minus 12. The last thing we need to do is combine like terms in the middle here, and we get a squared plus a minus 12 is our answer. Same ideas here. We're going to use FOIL. So 3x times x gives us 3x squared. 3x times 2 gives us 6x. 4 times x is 4x. And then 4 times 2 is 8. Last step, combine like terms here because we've got 6x and 4x. We've got 3x squared plus 10x plus 8. That's our answer. Example 4, same idea. 2r times 2r is 4r squared. 2r times 5, 10r. Negative 5 times 2r is negative 10r. And negative 5 times positive 5 is negative 25. Once again, in the middle, we have like terms, and 10r and negative 10r. They're going to cancel out, so we're left with 4r squared minus 25. The next one, we've got x minus 4 squared. This isn't written in the same form we've been seeing, but just know that if they're squaring the whole quantity, what's really happening is they're taking x minus 4 times x minus 4. Now you're just going to use FOIL like normal. So x times x becomes x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x as well. Negative 4 times negative 4, positive 16. We'll combine our like terms in the middle. We've got x squared minus 8x plus 16. The last one, same idea. We'll use FOIL. 8m squared times m gives us 8m cubed. 8m times 3 gives us negative 3 gives us negative 24 m squared. Negative 1 times m is negative m. And negative 3 times negative 1 is a positive 3. This time we don't have like terms in the middle, so there's nothing we can do. So your final answer is just 8m cubed minus 24m squared minus m plus 3. To multiply polynomials with more than 2 terms, you can still use the distributive property. Just distribute to each term. So it's kind of like an elongated FOIL, but you want to make sure that you're getting every term to every term in the other polynomial. So here, we've got the same idea. We're going to use kind of like an elongated FOIL. So we'll take x times x squared, which gives us x cubed. We've got x times 4x, which is 4x squared. Then we've got x times negative 6, so that's negative 6x. Then we FOIL on the bottom, or distribute on the bottom, with the negative 5. So negative 5x squared here. Negative 5 times 4x is negative 20x. And then negative 5 times negative 6 is a positive 30. So the next part of this is combining like terms. So I only have one x cubed, so it stays x cubed. I've got 4x squared and negative 5x squared. So that becomes negative x squared. I've got negative 6x and negative 20x. So that becomes negative 26x. And then I've got the 30, so I add 30 at the end. So I end up with x cubed minus x squared minus 26x plus 30. I want to do the same thing with the last problem. I want to distribute each of the terms, the first two terms from the binomials, to every term of the other trinomial. So I'll start with 3x. 3x goes to x squared, becomes 3x cubed. 3x times 4x becomes 12x squared. And then 3x times negative 7 becomes negative 21x. Then I go with the 1. 1 times x squared is x squared. 1 times 4x is 4x. And then 1 times negative 7 is negative 7. Now I'll just combine like terms. I only have one x cubed, so I keep 3x cubed alone. I've got 12x squared, and then a 1x squared, which becomes 13x squared. I've got negative 21x, and a positive 4x, which gives me, in this case, negative 17x. And then I've got the 1 minus 7, so I tack that on at the end. And so after combining like terms, my final answer, 3x cubed plus 13x squared minus 17x minus 7.